The ocean is disappearing. Water drains between twisted roots, leaving behind a field of shining mud. A giant mudskipper rises from the shallows, plants its fins against the ground, and walks. Above it, a vinegar crab abandons the forest floor and begins climbing a tree. In this mangrove, the tide changes more than the landscape. It changes the rules of life. Mangroves grow where land and ocean collide. Twice each day, the tide floods the roots. Then it retreats, exposing mud that is hot, unstable, and dangerously low in oxygen. For most fish, being stranded here would be fatal. But the mudskipper is not trapped. It has been waiting for the water to leave. Its raised eyes scan the mud like watchtowers. Its pectoral fins press against the ground, while its tail snaps forward, launching the fish across a surface that should be impossible to cross. A mudskipper can absorb oxygen through its moist skin and through the lining of its mouth. As long as those surfaces remain wet, it can stay active outside the water. But walking on land creates a new problem. There is nowhere to hide on the open mudflats. A gray heron steps between the roots, searching for movement. The mudskipper freezes as the shadow looms. Then the sharp beak strikes downward into the mud. The fish bends its body like a spring and explodes forward, vanishing into a burrow before the bird can attack again. The dark burrow is far more than just shelter. It protects the fish from heat, predators, and the changing tide. Some mudskippers even carry mouthfuls of air underground, creating an oxygen pocket inside chambers where their eggs can develop.
Nearby, another animal is moving in the opposite direction.
As the tide begins to rise, vinegar crabs leave the mud and race upward. Their pointed legs grip rough bark, carrying them over roots and onto branches. These small crabs are still deeply tied to the water. Their gills must remain moist, and their larvae begin life in the sea. Yet the adults often climb as the tide returns. Below them, predatory fish move into the flooded forest. So the rising water becomes a signal. Climb. High in the mangrove, the crabs feed mainly on leaves and propagules, turning the canopy into both a refuge and a dining platform. A crab has escaped the water by climbing into a tree. But now it has entered the hunting ground of birds. Water pushes deeper and deeper through the tangled roots. The mudskipper's feeding ground disappears beneath the tide. It retreats toward higher mud or waits inside its burrow. The crabs continue upward into the green leaves. For a few hours, the entire forest changes levels. Fish enter flooded channels, while small animals hide among submerged roots. Birds shift from hunting on exposed mud to watching from branches. Nothing has traveled far, yet every creature has entered a different world. Mangrove roots slow the water and trap fallen leaves. Fungi and bacteria break that material into detritus, helping feed crabs, fish, and countless smaller organisms. What looks like a tangled wall of roots is actually a nursery, a feeding ground, and a fortress shaped by the tide. The mudskipper and the climbing crab seem to be breaking rules. One is a fish behaving like a land animal. The other is a crab escaping into the canopy. But neither creature has truly abandoned the water. The mudskipper must remain moist at all times to breathe. The crab must protect its gills and release its young into the sea. Their impossible abilities do not free them from the tide. Instead, these abilities allow them to follow it seamlessly. Evolution has not turned these animals into something entirely new. It has given them just enough flexibility to survive.
In a place that never stays the same.
Soon, the water begins to fall again. The crabs climb down slowly from the branches. The mudskipper emerges from its burrow across the mud. The fish never truly conquered the land. The crab never truly escaped the ocean. They survive because the boundary between those worlds disappears twice every day.